So the new yoga program, I have decided to give it a name. See, like how it says iROC certification. It's integrative. See here?
Yeah.
RudraYoga Outreach Coalition, which means like it's a community support the family, because my whole goal is to stabilize family. And I have decided to use a positive 12-step model, but to bring yoga in. Yoga means like pathway, a trail. And this way, like, what we are discussing would also help others. So now I want you to go ahead and I'll tell you what happened on my end. So like you can see another perspective spiritually, right? So you go ahead. So tell me what is going on. So you said you're very scared when people are visiting.
There's not a lot of things I'm afraid of. But when it comes to anything that can get into my world and touch my children,
Yes, family.
I can remove them. I'm like a little kid with the biggest monster you've ever seen in front of me. I'm frozen solid. And Terry, my girlfriend.
Don't use names.
Oh, sorry. My girlfriend has dealt with these people many times. I haven't. And she just seems to
play the system.
Take them right to the edge. And I'll hear some of the things that she'll say. And I'm frozen. When I went into that office, DCF and said, "Your little girl, now let's hear from your words." And I turned to my sister, because I had so much fear. And I said, "Well, my sister has them right now." But what I wanted to say was, that little girl, out of the 4 children that I have had, their mom, my youngest one's mom, the one I take care of now, was so destructive. I had it for the first time in my life. Not be the guy who's out construction working and hanging in the bar and calling saying, "Yeah, how much all hours." I had the first time in my life rush home from work, make sure I take care of everything. Because I was here that take care of everything. And I was told, "You cannot stay with this woman as a child." So I broken up with her. I found out she couldn't do her. And she was really not doing well. She started falling apart. And I had to do it Friday. I can get earlier right now. Maybe tomorrow morning. I'm going to see you the next morning. Call him, why is she here? And listen, why don't we just make it next weekend? Can't do this to me. Can't just say, make it next weekend. Find out later on, after I'd seen her for 2 weeks, I felt like my soul was torn from my body. Like I was a zombie. And I didn't think it was actually missing me so much that
I'm
when
sorry.
I did see her, all my strength came back. All my feeling came back. And I felt like someone,
Yeah.
someone had removed the kryptonite. It's past.
The 2 children, the youngest one.
Yeah, and find out that she had an accident and went off the road because was so mad,
that you couldn't protect her.
that myself. That,
How did you let her go with her?
well,
That's part of your custody.
I left and I called the dropped the ball.
So they made you stay away from that, like you said, forced.
No, Carrie and I split up.
But like automatically, how did she get the child? You didn't fight for her.
She's the mother. And
Sure.
I went to DCF and I said, I want my child. And they said to me, that's it. She's done. She was on her last string. Your daughter's going to stay with you. And at the end of the day, my daughter's staying here with me. Say, they call and say, you have to return. You got to have to come up.
I see. So it was mandated by DCF.
And I said, oh, dirt show. I flipped out. And he said that she had nothing here, just I said, well, I saw a woman come on the porch to come get my daughter, bring her back home. She was fell through my glass door. And she's trying to pick my daughter up. She was real messed up. I said, no, she doesn't. My benefit said, sure to tell them, take a blood test.
So you fought very hard. You couldn't keep up with with the way the system works, right? Like the way you have suspected people and they end up being negative. I don't know what it is. There is some synthetic out there which I cannot even test. Sometimes they're negative, but they act so weird. I get you. But see, the problem is if you react, you're going to lose your priority. Your priority is your daughter, right? So I'm going to give you some tools because I went through DCF too. What happened is we have a very dysfunctional relationship. That's why I even wrote that book, Putting You to Be Happy with Dysfunctional Family. And I have shared this with you, right? I have not shared it with you. I was pregnant with my youngest one. And me and my husband, he has a daughter from previous marriage. And he had a restraining order placed on him from his previous wife. He is sober for 24 years, but there is always behaviors which we have to deal with. This is in the past. Right now we are living together. Even then we were living together.
Yeah.
But you go through ups and downs, And when I was pregnant, my stepdaughter wanted to have a sleepover. And my husband will talk to me in a way that is very inappropriate. And I didn't want another family to witness my humiliation. He will tell me, but last week he did that, or June 4th. He'll say, oh, it's disturbing. If I drop something, right? It's very disturbing. So step out. He'll give me time out. I need to go to the bedroom, come back. If you're driving to Florida, if I speak out of turn, he'll stop the car. I have to get out, go to the way back. And when he gets a time back in, I need to come back. He does like weird things. But, I think because I was raised in India, I put up with certain things. But I'm intelligent enough to know that it's not okay. But the thing is, I have to do both ways spiritually because that's my calling and also for the world. So one of the things I told my stepdaughter was, please spare me. I said, I don't want to be humiliated. And you know what she told me? She says, it is, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. She says to me, that's between you and your husband, and I don't need to listen to you. And it was so heartbreaking. And I was telling, and actually we had an Indian marriage, And then he eloped from his family. So he doesn't even tell his family he was getting married. Then we had a Christian marriage because my mother-in-law found out later, and we had a Christian marriage. And that's when they, integrated our family with their family. So we have like a gap too in his marriage, the pretentious marriage of American family versus Indian family. The marriage night, Christian marriage night, he and his daughter locked the door, and I had to sleep outside because his daughter has nightmare, and they need to have privacy. I was there are so many things I can bring on and on and on, but anyway, the bottom line is, right, one day when I was pregnant with my youngest one, I begged my stepdaughter, I said, please don't have sleepover. I said, I really want to be spared this humiliation because I am the one who makes the mortgage, makes the payment and stuff. And she says that's not her problem. She's smart enough to know how to play with her daughter. I mean, right now she's changed, but at that time, teenagers go through. So I told my friends. My friends said it's not okay. They said, tell him you're going to kick his ass off. And seriously, I brought it up to him and I told him, I said, if you play this on me, I said, I'm going to throw you out. He says, I'm going to teach you a lesson. He says, you will never forget this. He calls the police. When the police arrived, they said because he called first, he became the victim. I was the abuser. I was pregnant. I was paying for my family. And my father was visiting me and he was living with me. And he says, my father is allowed to go in. It's only me. I need to be taught the lesson. He says, you need to stay out. And he says, you're provided for. Go back to Cape Cod because he got a vacation home. And so he says, and I don't even, it was 10:30 at night. He expects me pregnant, drive all the way to Cape Cod, come back next morning at 8 o'clock because that's my time out. Only after 8 o'clock he'll entertain me. The police told me, if you knock on your door, we have to arrest you right here. When on that night, the police officer told me, it just breaks my heart. She says, if on my elder two were 3 and 2, they didn't even have words. They were babies. But the problem was not about him. It's because I didn't know how to stand up properly. And I'm so grateful it happened because I felt that night I finally realized I am not going to work hard. I'm going to work smart. So one thing I did was I went to my hospital. I told them every other weekend I want, because I know through custodially when my stepdaughter is going to be there. From then on, I decided to work when she is arriving. So physically I'm not there. And I called my mother-in-law, and I have a visual memory. My mother-in-law told me, if you ever tell me what's wrong with my son, you're not welcome to my home. And all his friends said to me, if you ever call us, you need therapy. We are here to support your family because we are his friends. That's when it dawned on me how stupid I was. And so I decided I'm going to work as though I'm divorced. So my friends, other friends, I would have, no matter whether he's in my life or not. My life is going to be my life, whether he's there or not. Monday, Tuesday, I choose to work late because that's his night with children. Wednesday, Thursday is my night, so I choose to be early. And every other Friday, weekend, 3 days a week, first and third weekend is my time to be away at work. And one night, this year too, right? This has been going on. And this is our 20th year in marriage. Okay. March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, his third week, his day to be with his kids. He decides to have a retreat with his friends. He was gone. My children, my eldest one, is very difficult. And he decides to have a party.
Just
30 kids.
Party, right?
30 kids. He decides to invite them. And there is a girl who's a junior in his class, decides to invite 50 kids from Birmingham. They beat him up. And they beat my middle one up. They could have died actually. One guy had a gun, it seems they clocked it. See, the thing is, if that had happened on my weekend, he would have divorced me. I can tell you, I can guarantee you, he would have thrown me out because it was his fault. He had nothing to stand on. The cop, when they called me, I said, I'll give up my job and I'll come. I said, I'm willing to go down. So the police said, no, no, no. It's not your fault. It is they intruded in your house. We just wanted to make sure the kids were safe. And they actually were very kind. They didn't take it against them. But the problem is, right, kids need direction even after they grow up. So the other thing, right, that happened is spiritual group, which I'm with too. Last weekend this happened. I was at work. So this we have reconciled. Afterwards, one of my rules I learned from DCF was they mandated I go through domestic violence. They said it's like the minute, because even though I'm not technically the abuser, I'm considered the abuser.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you are in the same shoe. Like, what I'm saying is it doesn't matter whether you use or not. The thing is we are stupid. Stupid people have to go through the education.
I know.
It's like it sucks, but what I have to do is, and unfortunately Indians don't understand, because I went to my priest and I said, hey, please, can you help me? And he says to me, hey, you need to be obedient. You need to obey your husband. I can't believe you're even considering, support from us. And I'm like saying, where are these people from? It's like religion and spirituality doesn't work for me. I went to the church. They said to me, you need to come 9 months for rosary, and afterwards we will consider with the elders whether we can help you or not. I don't have 9 months with my babies. It's like I lose them. So I said, you know what, all this crap I don't want. I cannot deal with this heartache. I said, okay. So I went to domestic violence, and I said to them, hey, I said, bottom line, tell me as a behavior plan, what are you expecting from me, right? So they tell me the only thing is for me not to cry in front of my children. That's number one, because they said that's considered distress, and they take away the distress parents. Even though you have distress, this is so bizarre. I shouldn't use the word hate, but I find very painful to work with these groups. Okay?
Yes.
So they said I cannot cry in front of them. Second rule is I cannot badmouth my husband. That's considered turning a parent against.
Yeah.
So then, and the third thing is I need to come across very strong. So act like a big bird and make the loudest noise so you can tell your child their word is the same. That's all. Bottom line is these 3 rules, right? Yes. So I work with my husband, everything is all set. I wrote my book and I follow it to the T. He doesn't even know it, but I follow it to the T. And finally he caught on. Now, he's doing things. And remember I told you about the turtle story? I told you, right? Yeah. Turtle, he let it loose and he threw out my barn. And then I had to do the same follow-up with him. And I gave myself a time out and I went with my spiritual group and I did my teaching. Come to find out, it's the exact thing that's going on with my spiritual group. They are saying, I got a timeout because I spoke up about the truth. And they says to me, I cannot badmouth my teacher, which is not exactly badmouthing. Like they consider if I bring up anybody else's name who is spiritually doing the teaching, like for example, Tony Robbins, that's considered an offense. Okay, so it's like badmouthing. I'm like turning the parent against another. Okay, that's the same rule. And then I cannot show distress. That means I am not in completion. So which means I need to work on myself so I will be equivalent to a saint. And the third thing is to come across very strong so I can attract people to bring it to his teaching. Essentially what I went through the world is happening in spirituality, which is very like it's almost like another cycle is repeating. So this weekend, right, I was on call And one of my person who runs the meditation, he was coming from Philadelphia and he didn't have a place to do the meditation. So I told him, you do it. But we both didn't have permission to run it the way the organization wants. So when I called the local support center, he tells me, you're a weasel. He says, you're trying to manipulate the system so you can get what you want. So essentially, like, it's like replay of my life, right? I tried because they don't know how much 20 years of stuckness I have. Like, I have to raise my kids. And I'm undergoing this even now. Like, with my eldest one, like, I'm still, like, waiting for him. Last night, like, he showed up like around 1 o'clock. I'm still going through my kids the same lessons. So for me, it is painful when it comes spiritually to redo these lessons. So then afterwards, right, I was like, okay, I said, okay. So I stopped crying because I felt like, it's like for me to regroup myself. I said, next thing, what I need to do, I cannot bad mom, because if I cry, it's a problem for me, not about them. I said, let me go through and finish this process. So I told myself, I wrote the last letter to my teacher. I said, this is the last try. I really need to know where exactly you want to place me so that I can go further. Exactly kind of like what you're saying. This is like federal, right? Like a Supreme.
Yeah.
So like I'm like saying, you need to take this seriously, but at the same time, if it's affecting your family, where do you draw the line? Like my family is my priority.
Yeah.
I cannot like compromise them to do a spiritual growth. So because my husband is always waiting for me to fall so he can take over. And he even tells me after 10 years of marriage, I'm forced to give him alimony, whether I like it or not. So he's going to have a good life, no matter whether I die, he's going to have life insurance. If I live, he's going to be paid. So his life is taken care of, and I'm custodially going to share anyway, So it's like, it's so interesting. So I could see the men's perspective in marriage, like like you are willing to take whatever it needs to put your family first. So the children need both father and mother. It doesn't matter, because you have to be in their life. So last week, right? So afterwards, I decided to finish the meditation part in an organized way. And this guy ran his program and end up he gave priority. His office called him to come for a meeting. He refused to go. The CEO was calling for a meeting. He's so dedicated, this other guy. It's almost like we played two parts in the same role, kind of. So he did it the way the group wanted. He lost his job. They fired him.
Wow.
So then afterwards, he came for the meditation. He didn't know where the keys was. He came for 10 o'clock at night. He was running around the property to look for the key. I told him it was under a iROC. He doesn't listen. And my tenant called the police on him. So he had to go back to Boston, hire another place. He ran the meeting. Okay, anyway. But he's so happy because he says, you know what? He says, if I hadn't lost the job, I would be considered high income on my kids. I have to pay a higher tuition. I'm so lucky. He's saying, he takes it everything right, okay? He said, it's like getting mass health versus paying for your insurance, right?
Yeah.
So then he says, you know what? The teacher is offering a 10-day program in India. So this is perfect. I got my lost my job. I'm going to go back there. And third thing he says, I can collect my unemployment income. He says, I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. He says, what a blessing. And I'm like saying, oh my God. So for me, the other way that happened was because I couldn't conduct the meeting, I really could do my retreat in my yoga center. I do my sauna. I told you, right?
Yeah.
Like this Rafa yoga, my eucalyptus steam sauna. So I was in my sauna and I could watch it on my own on YouTube. And I had a life, the way I want it. So I was also happy. But what I'm saying is, and then my, this is another incident that happened with my husband, last week. One of the things, because we don't have time with each other, one of the things we are forcing the kids to do is when we are together, we'll all go for movie together. Because I eat differently, he eats differently, like, kids eat differently. So we found eating out doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So we try like many ways to integrate, doesn't work. So let's compromise on at least doing a movie. So I'm telling him, like, all this spiritual experience that's happening. My husband has no time to listen to me. So he starts saying, peace, peace, peace. He's praying when I'm talking. So I'm asking my kids, I said, and they are upset with me because my teacher gave me a timeout. Like, I'm not allowed to do conferences anymore because they said I violated by speaking up. So I'm on a timeout, just like you, like, timeout. You're having timeout in another way, right?
Yeah.
Like with the custody and stuff. But what I'm saying is, same thing happened. So I told my husband, so you want me to go to a movie so I keep my mouth shut and meditate? Is that what you want me to do? He says yes.
Wow.
So we went to the movie. It's, I don't know, it's the Tom Cruise, the Mummy movie.
You left.
No, I didn't. You know what? The best thing is, one of the teaching my teacher says is never lose power. That's the reason I'm bringing it up. That's a normal way to think. So what I asked him is, do you want? So I asked my elder two were having earphones on, so they didn't even listen to what I was saying. My middle one was listening, and I said, do you want me to finish what I was saying? He says, Mom, I have no interest in your culture or listening to you. He says, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. And it puts me in a spiral of pain. But, like, again, my spiritual group says, if you have pain, it's because you have incompletion inside. I said, I am super happy before I get into the car. But for some reason, two people talk and I cry. And for some reason, when the spiritual group talks, I cry, whether it's incompletion or not. And I breathe and live when I'm alone, and I can smile. I have no idea what you call it, but I said, if it is my problem, maybe I am insane. It doesn't matter. My husband says you're the miserable one. I said, okay. So I went to the movie theater. I marched. I said, yes, sir. So I marched. And then when we go to the movie theater, he says, get out of the car. So I said, I need permission to disembark, sir. So then I marched, and then I go to the movie, and I sat down, closed my eyes, meditated 2 hours, and then he said, honey, movie's done. I said, thank you. So I said, he says, would you forgive me? I said, of course. Every time you do this to me, I'm going to forgive you. Every day we're going to begin a new life. Next day morning he came. I said, yeah, new life. So he says, this weekend I'm day off. So he says, are we still on for the movies? I said, if you want me to meditate there, I'd rather not go. So I said, if you are allowing me to talk and not act normal, I'll go with you. I said, see, the thing is, you have an insane family. And I have an insane family. My husband used to say to my kids, be careful with Mom. She's like very insane. She's activated. He wouldn't call it insane. He'll use very nice words. She's activated. And you need to be gentle with her. After talking all this, right? For some reason I cry. So that means I am activated. Because he's always coming from happy place. So I said, okay, I'm activated, my Lord. So I go to work because I really want to understand what is insanity. I go to recovery because I want to know what is the other side of recovery. I go to the spiritual group to know I can be strong in spite of all these insane things going on. And when my teacher finally didn't answer me, it released me. I felt if they cannot be supportive of what I need to do, I can be supportive of them. So I sat down after the movie. I sat down with my family, and I asked my husband and my kids. I said, I asked my husband. I said, you want me to share a dining table, but knowing I cannot eat, right? He says, yeah. Even if you're miserable, I would rather have you in my life than not have you. And it kind of made sense that time. And same thing, my son, like, I asked him, what's the reason you say that? I said, the only time I can stay with you guys is that 2 hours. I work like, like a dog all the other time. Why are you acting that way? He says, Mom, I have no understanding of your culture. He had tears in his eyes. And he says, I really don't want to engage with you. But at the same time, when you bring up the conversation, I'm forced to answer. And I don't know how to say it in a way that makes sense. But I would love you to be my mother and come for the movie with me. I don't want you to be without you either. So somehow figure out a way to fit in with our life. And that's when it dawned on me. That's all what the universe is telling me. We are not going to be there for you, but be there for us. My teacher says, be there for me. The kids say they be there for them. My husband says, be there for them. But even if I meditate, he would rather have me sit there than walk out. And I was kind of feeling healed in some ways. Does it make sense to you? So what I'm saying is, make her part of your life, even though it's painful, even if she's insane, because she will self-destruct. I can guarantee you that. And she's going to throw everybody under the bus. And you're going to anyway pick up the pieces. Wouldn't it be smarter, even if you're separating, like I separated it? Like, my schedule is different. Like, what I'm saying is, schedule separate, time separate, but not emotional. Because whether you like it or not, she's your child's mom, right? You're going to raise her until she finishes college, right? That's a reality, whether she finishes college or not. So wouldn't it be smarter to have a working relationship that works for both of you guys? So that's the reason I'm going through all that is happening in me, because you have seen me. I am not being bitter about it because I'm working through it. Does it mean I don't cry? Of course I cry. Does it mean it's not hurtful? Of course it's hurtful. But that's what human being is. God can be up in the mountains. He can be God, but human being takes a lot of courage. Opening up heart. And I see a grown man having tears and it breaks my heart. But it's worth it. Okay? I seriously tell you it's worth it. So, disengaging sometimes is okay, but don't tune them out. Because leaving them part of your life is very important. Would you do that with me?
Yeah.
That's what I learned too, okay?
Yeah.
I hope it helps you.
Yeah. I was just so stressed out last night. That away.
It gives you nightmares.
And I'm thinking, you get yourself in so much trouble.
So what's your plan of action? Now that you heard my piece, what would be your plan of action? How would you handle it?
Well, I told her yesterday, don't these people.
So you're being guided. That's nice.
Doesn't give away. TCF tells you, I know you've been through it before and everything, but
yeah, your cards very close to your heart. Yeah, that's what I learned.
How are you looking at this? Your actions, you want to affect what you're doing, that's fine. But
It affects
family,
yeah,
the job.
Your children are going to play the price.
Here. And they say they're coming, yep, you're right here.
I think that's all you can do. You can show them how they say, you can show them the water. Whether they drink or not is up to them. But you know what though? By doing all the thing right, you can walk away knowing you have done your best. That's the same thing I do with my family. If by chance God comes and says, it's your last breath, you have to leave, I can leave with a good conscience knowing I have done my best for my patients, for my community, for my spirituality, for my children. I have no regrets if I have to give up and go. But at the same time, until my last breath, I'm going to give it all. That's what I want to bring it to recovery. And that's what this integrative outreach coalition is about. My yoga is a pathway. Okay? My pathway is to show you guys by my walk, I am walking my talk. right? I'm not out there not doing what you guys are not doing. That's a hint. We are done. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for patiently listening, because I really want to leave this space when you leave here knowing you are going to be supported. Do you get that feeling? You can always count on me,
Yeah.
and I promise to be there for you. Okay?